Hi, this is Rick Gorman. Welcome back to another youth-centered podcast. This is the fourth one of 2019, and I'm extremely excited to have our support services coordinator, Brenna Carney, on the podcast, and we're going to talk about some of the great things that she's doing as the support services coordinator. So welcome to the podcast, Brenna.
Happy to be here.
Brenna, you have been here about 6 months now. We went through the interview process with you last summer, and we were excited. You came from a very well-respected program and working with girls. And over the last 6 months, I've been very pleased with some of the things that you've brought in, some of the things you've took over since you've been here. So for a lot of our listeners that may not know you and may not recognize you yet in the supermarket, who is Brenna Carney? Where did she come from, and how did she end up at our doorstep?
So I grew up in Shrewsbury, Mass., which is right next to Worcester, and I graduated from Shrewsbury High School in 2011. And from there, I went to Bridgewater State University, majored in early childhood education and care, and graduated from there in 2015. And from there, my family and I moved back to the Merrimack Valley area, back to Dracut, and I ended up finding Girls Inc. of Greater Lowell, which is great because I wanted to work in the education field, but not quite right in the classroom. So it was a perfect fit to still be teaching, mentoring, educating, but not working right in the schools. And I was at Girls Inc. for about 2.5 years, and I absolutely loved it. But it was time to move on, do a new challenge, and I found the North Andover Youth Center. And so I've been here since the summer.
That's great. And when we interviewed you and then obviously chose you as our next support services coordinator, I explained to you that your position is the first full-time position that we had over 30 years ago. And we look at the support services coordinator position as to be kind of like the lifeline position of this youth center. You're responsible, and your position is responsible for informal counseling, running groups, crisis intervention, information referral, and being a real sounding board for boys and girls that might need some assistance in a number of different areas. And with that job description, you had to inherit some things that we have run here successfully. And then we asked you to really come through with some of your own innovative programs, maybe some of the ideas you had at Girls Inc., et cetera. So for our people that are still getting to know you, our kids have gotten to know you great, very well respected. The kids love you here at the Youth Center. Since basically Labor Day, what are some of the programs, initiatives, and activities you've been doing here at the Youth Center?
So during the day, in the mornings, I'm at the middle school mostly. I run a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls group. I also run a 7th grade boys group, and I have a freshman girls group as well. And we pretty much spend about an hour talking about coping skills, peer pressures, how to deal with social media and the pressures from that. And it's kind of an hour for these kids to kind of talk about their frustrations in a healthy way, and for me to give tips on how to deal with it all. So it's really great to get to know them in that kind of informal way. And at the Youth Center, I have Mindful Mondays, which is a mindfulness class, ranging from doing, we've made stress balls, sensory slime, we've done yoga, guided meditation, Zentangling. So all different ways to just kind of decompress and just be more mindful of your surroundings and just be more in the moment. I also do Better Bites, which is a cooking class of taking our favorite snacks but making them a little healthier. And so, for example, this past week we made strawberry banana quesadillas, which the kids loved, and they learned about why it was better for you, that there was a whole serving of whole grains, protein, fruit and vegetables. And I also run Crafty Kids, so I do a lot of arts and crafts with the kids, which I really enjoy. And my leadership group, mentor volunteer program MVP, that is getting started and getting really kicked off, where we're pairing high school students with middle school students and creating that mentorship to kind of what I was saying earlier, helping them navigate those middle school years. Yeah,
we're really excited about this MVP program, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Your first 6 months here, little feedback on how it was getting to know our community, our kids, how the youth center operates. How's that been for you?
It's been great. It's different from where I was before, where there's so many people involved in the community and really wanting to know everything that's happening in their kids' lives. And I think it's just really great that there's so many people who are rallying around the youth center and making sure that getting their kids involved, making sure that they are being kind and respectful. And it's just really refreshing seeing that kind of kindness, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you've been very well received by our kids. And you've gotten to see a lot of our different types of kids with all the different programs you just talked about, obviously, and some of the social, emotional, supportive things, obviously dealing with some kids. Everything from the Mindful Mondays and some of the art things you've been doing, embracing a whole different kid. So it's been really good to see your first 6 months in terms of engaging with our kids. You've also been involved with the community. You've been involved with a number of different committees that we sit on in the first few months. Can you tell us a little bit which committees those are?
Yep. I'm part of the Health Advisory Committee, which is like all the school nurses, some of the town doctors, and a lot of the town employees that come together to help make sure that they're providing healthy options at lunch and just making sure the community as a whole is, if there's any health crises, talking about this past week, we talked about the opioid crisis, the gas, how it's affecting kids in schools with anxiety. So just it's a way of collaborating and working together to find a solution, which is really great.
Sure. And that the CCI committee?
Yep, CCI, that meets several times throughout the year, and that is held at the middle schools, and it's collaborating with school administration and the state of finding those kids that might be at risk and finding a way to get them on their feet and create a pathway for success for them.
And obviously, we have an extreme partnership with our amazing school system, and you're sitting on the BRC committee.
Mm-hmm. The BRC, and that one is held by Nikki Murphy, who is the social emotional leader and everything. And so I'm excited to be sitting on that board as well.
Yeah, some great people on all those committees, and goes to show how much we as a community are partnering together and sitting on committees that, don't just sit around and talk, actively put things together to try to, help our kids. So pretty excited about your continued role on our committees. Let's get to the MVP program. When you were started, you were told that we would like you to bring together a membership group, a leadership group of our members. And we kind of were gearing towards more the high school kids. And, we have freshman and sophomore youth council. We have junior, senior youth council. In the past, we've had Helping Hands. We have the Core 4 leadership program. So we ask every full-time staff member to run a leadership group. And you came with an idea of trying to do a mentoring program where you were matching eventually our high school kids with some of our middle school kids. So talk to us a little bit about how the concept came up. This is your program. This is going to be, at the time that you do leave, whenever that is, this will be a bit of a legacy program for you. We're just getting it off the ground. It's been exciting. So talk to people how it got started, what's happened so far, and what should we see in the next few months with MVP.
So MVP, what made me think of it, I was reflecting on my own experience between high school and middle school, and then my experience working at Girls Inc. And I just thought it would be really great that to build some sort of mentorship club or something like that. And so that was the initial thought. And because at Girls Inc., the girls and the staff, there's just such a strong relationship between that. And the biggest thing was that all it takes is one adult to be excited for you, to not fall through that cracks. So if you have someone at home that maybe your home life isn't that great, but there's that one person that roots for you, that child is going to succeed over someone who doesn't have that person. So I thought incorporating that here in North Andover, pairing those middle school kids with high schoolers who maybe don't have a big brother or a big sister that they can ask those questions about what high school's like, or maybe they're dealing with bullies, or there's drama with their friends and they have someone that they can talk to, and like I said before, just someone they know someone is rooting for them, and that's what everyone deserves, that feeling. Everyone should have someone rooting for them. So I think that's why I'm mostly excited about getting MVP started, is that I know that there's going to be a group of kids who have that. So I'm excited to see those relationships build from these people. They're going to get paired up as strangers, and I'm excited to see where they're going to be in June.
Yeah, I mean, obviously your idea that you brought to me, I'm very excited about. We were actually able to secure some funding this year through the state. Thank you to now Senator Diana DeZoglio was instrumental in getting us some money to kind of help run this mentoring program. And one of the first things you had done was to really select some kids. And at first, obviously, we just threw it out there. Didn't get some immediate feedback that I think both you and I were hoping for. But over a very short period of time, with the power of our social media, we were actually able to come up with a good close to 20 high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And then you wanted to, the first step, obviously, we need to train that. Talk about how we got that training going and how that worked.
Yep. So I knew these high schoolers, they needed more of a training on what it means to be a mentor, leadership skills. And so I reached out to the leadership training that they actually offer at MIT. And her name is Leah Flynn Gallant, and she was incredible. She works for MIT in the leadership student engagement office, and she did exactly what I was envisioning, but didn't know how to do it myself. And she came in for a 2-hour workshop, and then she came back again for a 1-hour workshop, and all the high school students felt way more confident now with getting a mentee, and feel that they are like 10 times more prepared than they were before. So I'm like so beyond pleased that we were able to get that relationship and team up with Leah, because she did an incredible job.
So you've done a great job of selecting these mentors, training these mentors, and now we're into the start of the year. And we're working on the next piece, which is identifying the mentees. Tell us how we're doing with that, and then if you can take us through, you and I have put together kind of a time frame that would like to see certain things happen, and if you can take us through that time frame.
Sure. So the application for the middle school mentees are ready to go. So that will be going live on Monday. And I'm expecting to get a lot of applications, because parents have already been reaching out to me asking when they can get their son and daughter involved with this. And I'm really excited to see their responses of why they think their son or daughter needs a mentor, and pairing up these personalities and kind of seeing really to see this finally unfold.
What will when the mentors and the mentees get together, you and I have talked about some activities. Care to share anything that's going to happen with these guys?
Yeah, so the first couple meetings we'll all meet together, and doing a lot of team building, probably do a lot of probably like silly activities just to kind of break that ice, and just really get to know each other. And then once they feel more comfortable with each other, I know the high school students, middle school students, they have such busy schedules, they'll actually be able to come up and meet at their own times. And I'll be doing the check-ins, coming up with ideas for them to do. I'm really excited to finally see the relationships come together and start.
Yeah, we are too, and there'll be a lot of, obviously, the one-on-one with the mentor and the mentees, but we will also be doing some large group activities. We have plans to get the crew out to our ropes course. We've talked about doing a trip with these, an overnight trip at some point, maybe in the springtime, early summer. So this is obviously going to be the first pilot year. We're excited. We're looking for this to not just be a one-year pilot program, that this is going to continue on. And those sophomores and juniors will do this for a few years, and then we'll bring on some more mentors, and obviously try to service as many kids as we possibly can. So it's an understatement to say how excited both you and I and the entire center is about the MVP program. So we'll have to bring you back on some other time to really talk about how it is going, and we'll definitely do that. Let's talk a little bit about you again. So MVP is getting unsaid. We're obviously knee deep in our winter programs right now, and at our staff meeting today, we discussed our deadlines to get both spring programs on board as well as the summer programs, which actually go on sale in April. So any ideas of what Brenna's going to be doing both in the spring and the summer for us?
So in the spring, we're going to be participating in the Out of the Darkness Suicide Prevention Walk in Andover. And I'm really excited to get that team going. And the focus on that team is not going to be 100% on fundraising, which obviously that is important for the walk, but it's going to be more about awareness. My main goal is to start the conversation about mental health and making it more okay to talk about, reduce that stigma. And I want to work with the high school students of collaborating with ideas, if it's either making posters, making ribbons, anything like that, to just get the word out there. I'm going to also continue with Mindful Mondays, which I'm really excited about, and I hope to gain even more interest in that because it's mindfulness is becoming everywhere. I do believe that soon it will be required in the schools to do some sort of mindfulness throughout the day. So I kind of like that we have a head start of it. And for the summer, I'm just excited to get more involved with the youth center, do possibly some girl programs, maybe some workout programs, all that good stuff. So it's all good things.
Yeah, we obviously, as most people know, we run on a seasonal basis. So we're obviously in our winter programs right now and getting ready for the spring. And then summer is just the most incredible time here over the period of 6 to 9 weeks. We just have a incredible amount of programs and fun for the kids. And this will be your first summer working for us, so we're excited about that. Today was a pretty special day for us. It was Professional Development Day here in North Andover. So our school system was closed, and we took the opportunity. The youth center actually was closed for its members, and we did some professional development. We had a great opportunity. This is the second time we've done this. Today we actually took a road trip and visited Danny's Place in Acton-Boxborough, as well as your old stomping grounds, Girls Inc. in Lowell, and had a great day. Really picking the brains of the people of those two organizations and sharing some of our successes. And, my opinion is we're not reinventing the wheel here, and we're all robbers to a certain degree. So if we can kind of share each other's ideas and maybe get some ideas to bring back here. First time you did that with us today, what was that like for you?
I loved it. I thought Danny's Place was great. I love that they're keeping Danny's memory alive in such a honorable way, and it was also great going back to Girls Inc. Like I said before, I love Girls Inc. I still visit frequently because I've built a lot of relationship with those kids, and I want to keep those relationships. And I love being able to share their ideas with us. Like you said, there's no need to reinvent the wheel, and we're all fighting the same battle. We all want a safe place for kids to go after school, have kids learn more about themselves, empower them, figure out what they want to be when they grow up. And so to have places like this is just incredible for developing and growing.
Yeah, for sure. I went there today, obviously. Interesting, Danny's Place was a place that actually consulted with us when they first started to try to kick off, and it's great to see what they've done down there. And I was very impressed with your former stomping grounds being Girls Inc. It is my initiative this year to have an alternative to the sports and rec program during the summer, which has been heavily attended by boys and not by girls. So we're looking at to have a similar program that would be more for girls, and got some great ideas from your friends at Girls Inc. on how we make that happen. So you and Demi and I will be sitting down and coming up with the concept that'll offer another girls program during the summer. And as we continue, we are trying to offer more girls programs here at the youth center. So it was a great day. As a full-time staff member, I am a big promoter of my staff being trained and going to training and learning more, because ultimately you can do a better job here and grow as a professional. You've taken advantage of that, both with money that we get from the town for training and education. We also got a grant from the Joseph N. Herman Youth Center, Inc., for training and education. And what are some of the trainings you've done, and what are some of the trainings you're going to be doing in the spring that are going to help you with your job?
So back in early winter, I went to a training called Mindfulness in the Classroom, which was really eye-opening, a really hands-on training, which I loved. And it was just about all different techniques, how you can incorporate mindfulness, as simple as just breathing exercises to hands-on activities. And that was, I loved that. That training. I'm going to one next week about how to help. It's called ADD on the spot, and it's coming up with all different techniques of dealing with kids who have ADD, ADHD, and coming up with tips of having to help them focus and learn on the spot. So I'm excited to learn more techniques to help with that. And then in the future, I am going to a training about youth anxiety and all different tips to deal with that. I'm hoping there's a lot of hands-on materials for that one. And then I'm also going to one about social media in schools and how to deal with cyberbullying, which unfortunately is something that we deal with a lot in middle school. So I think that one is going to be one of the biggest takeaways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Justin, who's going to be heading off to Project Adventure this spring for some increased training, so for him to run our challenge course as well as some adventure-based programming. And Kyle's heading off to his first training around diversity and culture, which I'm excited about. And then obviously Assistant Director Demi is going to be doing some leadership training and continuing her growth as our Assistant Director. So we're going to continue to promote professional development individually with you guys, as well as collectively what we did today, which I thought was a great day for us to kind of be together. We had two ends of a staff meeting also. We met in the morning, we went on our road trip, and then came back and finished. We're up at the staff meeting. So going to put you on the spot a little bit as we're coming up on your 6-month anniversary. Tell me about what like it's been for you. Was this a good move? I did ask the people at Girls Inc. today if they wanted you back, and I was amazed with how much they were all saying that you needed to come back. So obviously you didn't get fired from Girls Inc. You were obviously someone that resigned and came here. But how's the 6 months been for you, and what do you think the next 6 months are going to be like?
It's been good. It was definitely an adjustment going from working with all girls to a mix of boys and girls. I haven't worked with middle school boys ever, so that's probably been the biggest adjustment. But it's been really great getting to know people, all the kids, and especially in my girls groups. I've built really great relationship, especially with those kids, and I love seeing them at the youth center and being able to see them during the day, and they talk about their stress and everything, and then they come here and I see them laugh with their friends doing programming, and just I love just being part of the community. And that's always something that I always wanted to do in a job, was just being someone who is helping the community with youth. And this is kind of like the perfect mix of everything, where I'm on these committees on different boards. I'm at the youth center. I'm in the schools. So I'm excited to just get more involved and get to know more people, and just see where I'm excited for the summer too, because everyone talks so much of how fun the summer is. So I'm ready to just be more involved.
Absolutely. And you have done a great job here. And for our parents that maybe haven't met Brenna yet, I welcome you to come into the youth center anytime. Say hello to her, get to know her. I know most of your kids have gotten to know her over the last few months, and it's great to see how many kids she's reached, both boys and girls, over the last few months. And with all of my staff, I am very fortunate to have such great full-time staff, and over the years, I've just had some amazing staff, which is obviously I'm very lucky for that. And I'm interested to see your continued growth professionally. It's great to see our staff. Most of my staff is a lot younger than me, that are growing in the field, and it's great to see them develop into just outstanding professionals. And I have no doubt that you're going to be the next one on that, Brenna. So thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
And as we finish all podcasts, we always say, too much passion is not enough passion.